Hi. All right. This is Ask Dr. Ben. Let's do this terrible thing. Not terrible because I don't like to ask Dr. Ben. It's because of this next question specifically, very narrowly defined. So the question comes from Jim in Texas. That's as much as we'll say. And the question is, can a fart spread coronavirus? And you realize I'm only answering this one because I am scientifically obligated to to at least try, right? At least that's how I see it. So let's go into the science. All right. So there's a couple ways you could look at this. One of those is to say, all right, well, what's going on in the intestines anyway? What effect would that have on the virus? Is the virus infecting the intestines? Can you recover live virus from the intestines? So those are our three prongs. I'll see if I can remember them. I may forget one, and I don't know. Whatever. We'll get to it. So, the intestines are filled with feces. How marvelous. Sometimes. Yeah, I guess it keeps moving constantly through there. Feces has a very large component of bacteria. It's bacteria that have eaten everything we've left behind and then multiplied using all those wonderful nutrients that we provided. And so you end up with just massive, massive amounts. And it's lots of different kinds of bacteria. It's not just E. coli by any stretch. Oh my gosh, these gut microbiome things are really, really in depth. And basically, every time they do it, they discover new things that just happen to be living inside of somebody, new types of bacteria. So there's a lot going on there. It has potentially a lot of effects. There are connections with diseases, all sorts of diseases, and there are connections with different fitness levels and just all kinds of stuff. So that's fine. You can go read about that if you really want to. But I am not a gut microbiome scientist. I'm a virologist and coronavirologist, really, very narrow. So next thing, what about? Okay, so what else is in there? The other thing that's in there are going to be these things called bile salts. Bile salts are what we do with all the leftover cholesterol in the body. It gets transported to the liver breaks it down a little bit and excretes it. And bile salts yeah, they're very common there. And bile salts are destructive of anything that's made of fat. And so in this case, you've got the virus, and the virus isn't made of fat. I've seen that Facebook meme, boomer meme, whatever you want to call it, going around. But there is a layer of a thing called phospholipid, and it's like what's on the surface of all your cells. And that's also on the outside of SARS coronavirus 2, the virus that causes COVID-19. And so, what happens when you put viruses like this into bile salts? And the answer is the bile salts just take away that outer layer. And it's essentially the same effect that you would have washing your hands with soap. So, I guess you could wash your hands with poop, although, yeah, I don't recommend it. But it would have the same sort of direct antiviral effect to just be so much worse in so many other ways. Just please don't do that. So then the question comes up, well, is the intestine even infected in COVID-19? The answer is yes, almost always and pretty quickly. Seems to happen around the same time as the lung, or maybe just a couple days after the lung gets infected. So very much part of it. And some people get diarrhea, but for the most part, it seems that people have virus in their intestines, and there doesn't seem to be a particular symptom. So the question is, how does the virus get to your intestines? The answer is it probably can't be coming from the lung, because your lung down here would have to find a way to come up, which, okay, and then it would have to get caught, and then it would have to get swallowed back down, and then it would have to go through all your intestines and stomach and not break down in that stomach acid. And all these things are fairly unlikely. You might get a couple making it through if they started out in a blob of snot or something like that, because yeah, why not? This is a totally gross episode already anyway. So we do get infection down there. We don't know exactly how it happens. Most likely it is something actually coming down down your throat and through your stomach and miraculously surviving, and one of those survivors manages to start an infection. So hooray for the virus, boo for the person. The other thing is, well, can it spread from there? And so the answer is that there was a case with SARS coronavirus 1 where people did manage to culture live virus from a fecal sample. And so, since a fart is essentially aerosolized feces to some extent, yeah, there is a possibility with regular SARS. But so far, nobody has been able to recover the live SARS coronavirus 2 from fecal samples. They can detect the RNA. The RNA is very abundant, it is all over the place. But so far, no viral culture. And so the other dimension in this is that in polite society, for the most part, even if people don't want to wear one of these up here, we do usually wear something like a mask over that part of our body. And it would have the same effect. If there was the equivalent of a anal respiratory droplet, it would probably be caught on the clothing. And so, it'll smell disgusting, but yeah, you're probably not going to get COVID from this. So, one less thing to worry about, I hope. There you go. That's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It's over. Yeah, thank you. It's Ask Dr. Man.